but we are probably more represented in the southeast Queensland than we are the rest of the state. Yeah, that's something we're hoping to repair over the next few years. We have a wonderful, talented bunch, as you can see here, and those of you that have gone to the Rotary Quilt, where's Kate? Went to it last year. There was a wonderful exhibition of quilts there, and that'll happen again next year.
23, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully be part of that as well. I'd like to thank Joy for coming up today with the sewing machine. And we shall get on with Wendy Bailey, one of our judges. She had her choice out of these, and her choice was Comfortably Numb by Jane. Ali George, selected to be the change by Lola Nicet. That's that la 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 one in the corner. And there you go. That's for that. Nick Wilson, would you please come up? There are a few gentlemen out there who do quilts. Nick's one of our favourites. Third prize is Magpie's Warbling Jeannie Henry. Gympie Regional, yes. Second prize is for 2020 Urban Graffiti. Now, unfortunately, this particular, that's the blue quilt there. This particular artist is struck down by COVID. Hello, and she's on live. Hello, Alison. What sort of machine is it, George?
It's a fantastic banana. So during the evening.
And that is going to Coming Out of the Shadows by Jane Mundell.
Never had so many machines come off the belts in Switzerland, and they're all being to much younger generations. They are starting to come now back to sewing with some that a lot of them enjoy starting he does graffiti with spray paint, so it's amazing. And at the AQC, which is coming up, one of these books will be there, and it's all graffiti in spray paint. So we're quite excited about that. But I am very pleased to come up today. It was such a pleasure driving up to Gympie, having a walk around the shops and I'll be a little bit of my money. But the machine itself is it's close to $2,000 for the price. And we've always sponsored the Quarter in Queensland, and we'll continue to do that.
Thank you.
When we talk about machines, often it's just the means to the end, as in that's what we make it on. We don't think too much about the product, but the product has to be good to be able to make some of these clothes. And it's generational. I find, and I hear it so often, people come up to me and say, I have got a machine in my family. It's a family thing. I've passed it to my daughter, and my daughter's passed it to her daughter. And even just yesterday, I had a lady say to me, I'm sending my machine over to my granddaughter. She's in France. I hope she's not here. But she's in France, and I'm going to send it over because it's been in my family all this time. And I think, wow, what a great way of thinking about it. And I think many of you in this room probably have machines that have been passed down to you. That's all that I need to say.
Thank you so much, Christine, Julie and Joy for that presentation. Congratulations to all the winners. Well, we have something else very special here at the gallery at the moment. Upstairs we have a very special display of the fabric of Gympie. We're really pleased to be able to show this in complimentary to this exhibition. The Gympie Community Quilt was publicly presented to the Gympie community by the Chamber of Commerce at a Christmas Street Carnival in 1990, and that's on display upstairs. That's on loan from the Gympie Hall of Memory. And the other piece is very, very special. It's the Wesleyan commemorative quilt and dates back to 1893. This quilt is generously on loan from the Rotary Club of Gympie, and I would like to invite Kathy Kane from the Rotary to tell us a little bit more about this.
Well, firstly, congratulations to all the participants and everything for this wonderful display you've got down there. It's great. And it's in stark contrast, of course, to what's upstairs, which was, well, as Chris has said, the Queensland Quilters were part of and have been part of our Quilt and Craft Spectacular for a few episodes now. We look forward to involvement from them in the future. That's where I was going with that. But in any case, when we were arranging the Quilt and Craft Spectacular last October, about a month before that, I got a phone call from a lady who was organising a bus trip down to the quilt show from just north of Gympie. And she said, oh, we're doing this bus trip, and she told me all about it, we talked about it for a bit. And then she said, oh, and I have this old quilt, and would you be interested in showing it? And she said, it's from 1893, and it's been, it was rescued, it was screwed up on the floor in somebody's house, and my friend's mother rescued it, and she was down your back, hey, like it. And we went on to talk about it, that Sharon and Mark over there, and we went on to talk about it, and we did get this quilt down to show it at our show, and it's first showing in decades. It's been lost for decades. And it was created in 1893 by the women, or people, actually, I think it's mainly women, but the members of Gympie, and it was presented to the minister, the Reverend Tom Ellison in 1893, who was a huge figure in Gympie's history, and he married the next year after the presentation of the quilt, he married Fanny Bytheway, whose father was one of our founding fathers, Edward Bytheway, and I think he was even responsible for the building of this building and many other historic buildings in Gympie. And the names and everything that are on the quilt 296 panels, hand done, sewn together by these people lovingly for their minister, and it makes reference to the Great Flood of 1893, the general election, which saw Andrew Fisher start his climb up the ladder to Prime Ministership, and so many names of our history, you know. So honestly, it's huge. It's hugely significant. And, you know, the Rotary Club of Gympie last October were very pleased to be able to show it at our show, and now it's upstairs, and the display up there is wonderful. So you've got to go up and see it because it's great. I've investigated some of its journey because it did become lost, and the family, after they got it, and they married in 1893, they married in 1894, and then he got posted all around Queensland, all around New South Wales. I'm guessing they must have taken this quilt with them everywhere until it wound up in a nursing home, wasn't it, Mark?
Yeah, retirement village.
In Terrible, in New South Wales. Kincumber in New South Wales. And it was scrunched up on the floor with the family Bible ready to go to the tomb. Yeah, and so it was Clyda, or was your mum that rescued it? Clyda rescued it. It was one of the daughter-in-laws in the family, and gave it to your mum who passed to you. And I think it's amazing. It's since 1893. It's done this huge journey right through all of Queensland, New South Wales, and then now it's come home. It's found its way home. So I think that's pretty good. And take time to read the signs up there because they really tell the story. We've sort of borrowed it from you because the Rotary Club of Gympie is looking at options of how to get it restored and a permanent home for it, hopefully fingers crossed here in Gympie. And that's as per everyone's request. Everyone wants it to stay home now that it's found its way here. So, you know, it's phenomenal. It's all hand done. Like she said, the lace work is amazing. Just, go up and have a look because it's great. Thanks.
Thank you, Kathy. Thanks to Rotary, and thanks, ladies, for making it available for us to show here at the gallery. It's a very special piece indeed. I'd like to invite Chris back over. Chris is going to ask a couple of artists to come and talk about the pieces.
At our openings, we started this a few years ago where most of us will look at a quilt and say, wonder how they did that, particularly textile quilts. They're usually, as has been mentioned before, there's an awful lot of different techniques used. So first I'm going to ask Nick Wilson to talk about his quilt, which is the Giraffe, Mother and Child. Number one, yes. I have many coming.
They're waiting for number 2 now.
Well, it'll probably be zebras, will it? You've got the floor.
Mother and Child, number 1. My quilting journey, it changes as we all do with our art. It changes as we go on. And a few years ago, Johnny mentioned the graffiti quilt. That was a whole story that's behind that, and learning to actually do graffiti to make that face. But currently, this moment is it's an emotional one. So my wonderful mother died several years ago now, but I've been thinking about Mum a lot just recently, and just the emotional experience of a mother caring for and nurturing a child. And so I'm doing this little series of mother and child pieces. This was the first one. The second one's finished. I've got a third one on to it at the moment. And that's the actual quilting in it is very traditional. So we'll, it's very much quilted. Very traditional style of quilting, but it's the emotion behind it and the imagery and trying to get the child looking up at mum and mum looking there and caring for that child. So that's how that piece came about.
And did you draw that picture of giraffes
I drew it many times on paper first, and then eventually on the fabric. So yeah, drawn on the fabric with water visible, and then the line of the quilt anyway, and then the free motion quilting was done free. Yeah.
And if you look
So,
closely at the lighters displaying on the background quilting, which
there are 4 different fabrics used, 4 different threads used. So the feathers that, I chose that style of quilting because it's a throw towards the natural features within a giraffe. So it's a heavyweight 12 weight thread in the feathers, and then the background petals with a lighter 50 weight. The background is with a very close match to the background fabric, but the sun is done with monofilament, which gives it that sort of light.
thank you, Nick.
I will thank my wife, Debbie and Charlie, are super supportive of my quilting. I will tell a little story. When I first finished it, I showed it to Deb. She said, "Oh, it's fantastic, I love it, but I love the tail."
Thanks, Nick. Now, Jane's come forward now. I'm not going to ask her to talk about her first prize. Did you notice that the one that she got the judge's choice for is made of paper? That one there. I think that one's just interesting.
Pushing the boundaries a little bit. I'm a member of an international monthly chat group, and a couple of months ago one of the ladies said, let's do a word group. So she had made a word up, she painted a word and then cut it up and refigured it. And we all went home next, we all sort of finished the conversation and said, okay, let's make a word quilt. And I thought, well, maybe I might paint on fabric. And my husband had got a box of coffee pods delivered, and the coffee pods came with rather a lot of brown paper packaging. And I thought, perfect, because it was this wide and about this long. So I ironed the fabric, and then I used just water-based paint and wrote comfortably numb on it. And those of you who know Pink Floyd, it's a line of Pink Floyd song, and it's something that sometimes when I come home from work and I just go, comfortably numb, I can't move, can't do anything, I just have to sit. So that's what happens when you work hard, I suppose. It's comfortably numb. So I wrote the words, I wrote comfortably numb in blue, and then on one of the pieces of paper, on the comfortably beautiful dark, so I got a splot of white paint and I splotted lots of white paint on it. And then it looked a bit boring still, so I put lots of orange paint on it. And then I thought, now what am I going to do? I've got this very big long two pieces of paper. So I tore it up into 4 pieces and stacked them on top of each other, and just cut some random lines with my rotary cutter, and then joined it all back together like a jigsaw puzzle. So, yeah, orange. So I stuck it back together. So I did stitch it and overlap it. So if you're going to make a quilt where you put 2 seams together and open them out, that's not how I did this. I just laid them on top and with a bit of hope and crossing my fingers, stitch them on the top to join all the different paper together. And then I thought, oh, now what am I going to do? So I was worried about the paper tearing, but good strong paper, so the paper didn't tear, so it was worth promoting that doing grades of brown paper. And so I ironed riser fix, which is like an iron-on fusible to the back of the paper, and then I ironed onto another bit of fabric to be bigger all the way around, and then I loaded it onto my quilt frame and quilted it. What's that?
Which machine did that then?
My banana. That's so
How many do you have?
some. A treadle and a paint as well as about 5 bananas. So other things use them as well. So I loaded on with banana line quilting and a lot of angle quilting with the ruler just to get some good straight lines. It didn't tear. I was really surprised. It didn't tear the paper. I didn't unpick anything and have to restitch because of course once you get a hole in the paper it's there, it doesn't close back up like fabric. And then once I finished that, I did some writing in pencil on, actually I think I did some of the crosses on the writing with the pencil before I quilted it. And then once I quilted it in the straight lines that were there empty, I've written with a pencil comfortably numb about 1,000 times. Or part words or part of comfortably numb. And when I stitched the white dots were stitched a bit differently on the machine. So I went round and round and round and kept the ends and chopped them so that they don't be tangled. So it worked really well. It was a surprise. It happened. Oh, we made another word quilt. I've seen a couple of word quilts. The words you can't say in public. A couple of the ladies did some really interesting quilts with words, so they come up quite well. I'm really happy with it. And I'm happy with the texture that you get with the paper and the extra, when you have a look at it, you can see the pencil marks on it, just give it a different dimension to it. And leaving the tails was fun. Yeah, have another look. But it is stitched on top, like, so I just laid 2 pieces of paper like this and stitched straight lines on top. So it worked really well. Worth it challenge.